back, everybody. This is the Grind Podcast. Chris is out this week on spring break, so I'm substituting for him. My name is Kent Clothier, founder and CEO of REI Nation. Everybody knows that I always bring a posse whenever I come. Whereas Chris, he likes to do these by himself. I like bringing some really experienced people with me. So my guests today on here are Nate Gray, that's been here, and I'll let him talk a little bit in a minute about what he does for 15 plus years with REI Nation, and Ashley Clunch, that's been with us over 13 years with REI Nation. So today we're going to spend a few minutes with you talking about a couple of different things about REI Nation and Premier, and maybe some of the stuff is redundant over the years, but we keep talking about it because the numbers keep growing every single month. So just a brief introduction here. We're at our REI Nation headquarters in Germantown, Tennessee today, and we're going to spend a few minutes. We are about 10 or 11 weeks into the new 2022, and we are trending in a very good way as far as REI Nation and Premier Property Management. We're well on our way to surpassing 8,000 properties this year that we manage. The first 2 months have been really, really good. And so we'll spend a few minutes talking about some of the benefits of REI Nation and Premier, and some of the value that REI Nation and Premier bring with you. I would only hope that we could do half as good as Chris does on his podcast. I know last week he talked about the value that Walmart and Four Seasons bring, which was really, really good analysis that he did on that. So hopefully you guys are following the Grind Podcast every week, and hopefully he's back next week, and we get out of this little gig and he takes it and keeps moving it forward. So let me go to Ashley first. That, like I said, has been with us for many, many years in our sales department. I'll let her talk a little bit about what she does, and she's literally sold probably more houses in our company than anybody at this point. I'm going to go out on a limb and say over 2,000 in her 13 years that she's been here, and continues every week to sell our existing clients and new clients properties that we have that become available. So Ashley, take a minute and introduce yourself and tell all of our guests, which last time I looked, Chris has thousands and thousands of people that look at this podcast every week. So that's a really good thing. And Ashley, take it away for a second.
Sure. So as Kent said, I have been with REI for 13 years now. And what I do here is I work with investors. We educate investors on what we do and how we do it, really our systems and processes that are in place. And then from there, we take it to starting and building out a portfolio with them. So we will help them to select the right properties to put into their portfolio. And then as they build that portfolio, we continue to work with them on just educating them about new markets that we're in, different areas that we're investing in, that we're going into, and then of course, just helping them to build that portfolio over time and get into our WOW and our WOW Platinum groups. And so, so that's pretty much what I do all day, every day.
Well, Ashley's been doing it for a long time, does a great job with our company. We're very lucky to have her. Her and I banter back and forth all day. We just had a little conversation in here right before this podcast started that my expectations of her today, tomorrow, next week, and she kind of set me back a little bit. But I think we both agree that what she's doing and where we want her to get to, and I always keep pushing and stretching Ashley, and she does a great job. So after Ashley and our other salespeople get through the process of a new investor or an existing investor, then it goes to what we consider the most important part of our company, and that's the property management side, because that's when investors make critical decisions about who is going to manage their investment and who is going to take that and run with it and provide the service and the value and the quality and the communication that they're looking for from us on a day-to-day basis. And Nate heads that department, has been doing it for many, many years, now has surpassed me on how much knowledge. I used to have all the knowledge in the Premier side of it, but now property management, now he has it. He has surpassed me as the brains behind the whole property management side, and his team of people that work for him in Memphis here and then in Dallas in our office there. And so I'm going to let him take it for a second and talk about property management and customer service, which he oversees both. So Nate, welcome, and thanks for jumping in here with us today.
Thanks, Kent. Hi, folks. My name is Nate Gray. Like Kent said, I oversee our property management division and our customer service team as well for all of our 13 markets, and handle really the day-to-day in property management, those headaches that come up. And we've got a fantastic team in place. It's really, I do nothing. The team does it. We've got a great group of people that work with us and alongside us every day that handle every aspect of property management, which is renting the houses from beginning to end, collecting rent, handling maintenance, doing the ins and outs and the day-to-day of property management. On the flip side, we've got a customer service team as well that handles and oversees communicating with our owners, taking care of our owners, like Ashley was talking about. Once they're done and through the process of building their portfolio, they're passed on to the customer service team. Our goal is to communicate with them, call them monthly, talk with them, establish those relationships, and really just create a lasting bond of trust, because they're going to be with us for a long time, for long-term buy and hold real estate investment strategy. And the goal is for them to succeed, and we help them do that via property management and that customer service team. So,
very good, thank you, Nate. And those of you that have known me have been with me and seen different things that I've done, whether it's podcast or calls that I have, live calls. That the customer service is the thing to me that is the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. And Nate has a team of approximately how many customer service ladies do we have?
there are 9.
We have 9. I think we have 6 in Memphis and 3 in Dallas in our office over there.
Right.
And their sole job, and a lot of people don't believe this. And when we first started REI, Memphis Invest back then, REI, people kind of laughed at us for when we stood up in front of a group 10 years ago and said we call every customer every month. And that was kind of a joke to some people. Well, pretty sure that most of the companies today out there that in our business and in our space are doing the same thing now. All right. So what we do is when you become a client of ours, and about 35% of our business every month is brand new clients that come in. And so we walk you through the first 4 weeks, whereas one of our customer service ladies is talking to you once a week for the first 4 weeks to guide you through the process, the systems, and all the questions that you may have and all the concerns that you may have that first month. And when we get you past the first month, we then call you the same person once a month to update you on your property, to talk about maintenance, to talk about renewals, to talk about rents collected, and any other things that may come up on your property, so that we're over communicating with you. And we've learned over the years that our clients really, really appreciate that. And that's why, again, 60 to 70% of our business every month is our current clients buying and repeating the process again and buying more properties. And today we have almost 500 people in our WOW group. That's 5 or more properties. That grows every month. And I think we have like 40 or 50 people that own 10 or more houses today. And some of our biggest clients own 30 or more houses. And we take that as a badge of honor that we're providing the service that they want each and every day and each and every week. So we have 9 ladies that do an exceptional job every day, every week, every month, talking to our clients, answering their questions, communicating with them on what they need, on how we can do better, what we can do better to serve them, bring more value to them. And that's the mission that we're on. So let me pivot to Ashley here. And Ashley, not putting you on the spot, but I know you know the answer to this. As you deal with our clients every day, new and old, repeat and new people coming on, why do they come to REI? What are they looking for? And what are some of the most important things to them as you deal with them on a daily basis?
Yeah, that's a good question, and really just piggybacks off of what you were just talking about, and just the over communication, the service we provide. A lot of our investors will start out, of course, and their focus is the property specifically. So they're looking for a certain 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this market. And it's really been interesting to watch as that evolves into their investment, and what they're looking for is really the team they're working with. The property is the widget that makes it happen. The property is what produces the return for them, and obviously gets them paid each month. But ultimately, things that were very important on the front end of specifics of the property become less and less important as they build out that portfolio, because they know the team they're working with. They know the experience that they've had. And I think even like you talked about with communication nowadays, that is a big part of this. You know, us reaching out and communicating with investors is still rare. Any level of customer service these days is pretty rare. And so us over communicating, keeping people in the loop, doing the right thing, taking care of people, that far outweighs any of the other details or specifics that sometimes we get wrapped up in when we first team up or partner up with a company, or just like buying a car. Nowadays, my husband and I, we will buy, we used to just, it was the car. We wanted a certain car and a specific car. Now we truly, and I don't know if we're getting old like you or what, but we now truly check out the service department, the service feedback, and how quickly you can get in, what they offer. We recently bought a Hyundai, and they offered where they pick up your car and bring it back to you after they service it. And so I think that investors, in the same way with us, they may not initially, because they've never seen this before, so they don't expect it. But once they get into it, they're like, hey, this service part of things and what you guys have in place as far as processes and systems, that's my investment. That's what I have faith in. That's what I've seen. That's what I feel comfortable with. The property is going to be the property, and so that's what I've seen just as long as I've been here, with as many investors as I've worked with. And I even share with new investors, hey, I know some of these details are specific to you right now, but as you work with our team, your trust factor will build, and you'll see that what we offer is more than just a property.
Well, and you see this, and again, I agree with 100%. Service out there today in our country in most industries is just almost like non-existent.
Yes.
It's rare that you find somebody that does really, really exceptional service.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it goes back to some of the processes and some of the communication that we do. And it's just, if our prices, we're not the cheapest and we're not the highest, but you get what you pay for.
Right.
And we've talked about that over the years. I think we bring tremendous value. We have so many KPIs in our customer service department, boxes that we check, how many times they talk to every customer every month. There's tremendous notes that we use Salesforce that are in there, so that when they follow up, that they're following back up with legitimate answers for our customers that are looking for things. So the customer service is the flagship of what we do. And it's, to me, the most important value proposition that we bring is the communication. Can you go buy houses cheaper? Yes. Can you get less property management fee? Yes. Are you going to get the value for that? Well, I will let you determine that. We've had people that come and go with us in property management, and they come back. So let me pivot to Nate on a different thing, because we've seen this last year, and as we get into this year, where a lot of outside owners are bringing properties to us to manage. And I'm going to let Nate talk about that for a second, about what we do in that area. We just started in 2021. We hadn't done that for 16, 17 years. And we started bringing properties in from the outside because we had so many requests. We had a lot of our owners that wanted to bring in a family member that had properties that they didn't buy from us. So we started managing properties from outside. And we literally took in hundreds and hundreds of houses last year. And so far this year, we're on the same process. We have a young man that takes care of that for us. Nate, talk a little bit about properties that are coming in from the outside, and what we're looking for and what we're not looking for in some instances. And talk about that for a second, because I know that's a really important part of what we're trying to do this year.
Sure. So like you said, about a year ago, probably this time last year, we kind of opened the doors to taking on outside properties, properties that were not purchased through REI Nation. And really, like Kent said, it was via the demand
Yeah.
that we had and the requests that we had from owners. And some literally, begging us to help. They had, some properties that were giving them some headaches, that they needed assistance on, that they previously had other properties with us or friends and family, and they were happy mainly on that service that we kind of hang our hat on. And it just evolved from there. So we had a team member put specifically in place to handle those requests, to really kind of vet the properties. Now, the tricky part of this is, we have, and we've said over the years, there's nothing that's more important to us than our reputation and credibility and integrity and all those things. So the last thing we wanted to do was kind of damage that or hurt that in some way by taking on some properties that were not having a good experience, or owners that were not having good results with those properties. So we got to be careful with that. We have to look at it and make sure that we vet those properties, make sure that they are up to our standards, up to our levels that we expect. So they really fit in line and mesh with our other properties. Because as a management company, and this is just like any other, but the car situation that Ashley was talking about earlier, reputation is big, and reviews are big, and all these things. Word of mouth is huge when it comes to property management. So anyway, taking these properties on and making sure that they're up to the quality that we expect and require to really fit our mold. We go and we check out the property, make sure that it's in good condition, make sure that everything falls in line, and we're able to rent and manage the property successfully. Because in the end, if that's on us, even if it is a property or a bad apple, we've got to make sure that we turn that around and provide the same results to those owners that they've come to expect from us over the years. So yeah, it's something that we are still working on this year, and we're open to do whenever we have owners call and discuss with our customer service team. We get them to the right person and see if we can assist them if they have those houses or properties.
So that could be in any of our markets, which are Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Little Rock, St. Louis, Memphis, Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, and Tuscaloosa. And we're also managing houses today in Nashville and Austin.
That's correct.
All right. Markets that we're not currently buying in, but we are managing it.
That's right.
Right.
That's correct.
So those are all opportunities out there for any of you that might be interested. Nate would be available to talk to you or get you to our team member that handles that. And certainly something that we would want to talk to you about. Ashley, so let me ask you a question. Just recently, so far this year, have any of our clients or prospective clients talked to you about how their stock portfolio is doing versus their real estate portfolio?
Of course.
Tell me how those conversations, because I had one last night at a fundraiser that I was at last night that came up, and but look, tell what you have there first about that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. But yeah, obviously, it's always been a part of conversation. And of course, most investors are diversifying. So they do still have stock portfolios and are investing in stocks. But I think whenever you go through, I guess you could call it pressing times, what these past 3 years, 2.5 years have been, people tend to view things, and their perspective on things can change a little bit. And I believe that the security that has come from, because I know for us personally, and when we've gone through these past few years, when it started, we had no idea, okay, what's going to happen, just like everybody. What's this going to look like for all of us, for our investors? And we soared. We did very well. The demand for single family homes on the rental side went up. Interest rates were in our favor, so returns were up. We were hedging against inflation. Just all things came together and worked well. And when things are good, it's great that things are going well. But when things kind of go, like I said, in a pressing time, when we're soaring and doing well, that's a very good sign. And so obviously our investors who've already had investments with us were definitely coming back this way because their stocks and the portfolios that they had on the other side were, I mean, just tanking some were, I mean, it was volatile, it was unpredictable, unknown, and here we were just steady going down the road, you know, keeping that asset performing, keeping those checks coming to them. Of course, the values in the properties were increasing because we were seeing the inflation, the rents were increasing. So, and then new investors coming in that drove some investors our way that had not invested with us before. That again, and if you read anything on in any of the you know, media and what they were pushing, obviously real estate, and they always have. But I think when you get in times like this, people tend to listen a little more and get a little closer to it. And okay, you know, where do we need to go from here? What do we need to do? And real estate has been at the top of everything. And so, so our markets, not only in the housing market, we've seen the growth, the rentals, we've seen the growth, but also population growth. We've seen industries coming into the markets we're in, Middle America. We did very well during this time. And so, you know, for us and what we're hearing on our side, I'd be interested to hear what you.
Well, I was at an event recently and they were raising money, and one of the gentlemen said, I have everything that I have is in stocks, and it hasn't been a good 4 or 5 months.
Right.
And of course, I'm thinking that had he been in real estate, it wouldn't be that way.
Right.
And of course, I know we have investors that have stocks and real estate, but to me, it just drives home the value that we have in real estate and what's going on today. Even at the prices that we have, the investments that people are making in real estate, that is a solid asset, as you said. And for people to be on the fence about debating whether to get in or not, sometimes it just blows my mind with what our investors have been able to make the last 2, 3, 4 years on their assets, performing for them, not only on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, on the appreciation, what's going on, the equity, the residents paying rent every month to lower their balance on what they owe on that assets. It's just again, I just can't talk about how important, if any of our listeners out here that are on the fence about whether to get in real estate. Of course, you need to have a balanced portfolio,
right?
But real estate today, again, even what's happened the first of the year, I'm relatively sure and almost positive that all our investors have improved since the first of the year somewhat. And so I just wanted to mention that.
Well, and I think a lot of people too, probably that guy, I hear a lot of, I had no idea this was out there, you know, because right now it's hard to even get a property. It's hard to get into the game, you know, because the demand and such. And so people will say, I had no idea somebody like you guys existed. Like, I wish I would have started 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I wish I would have known about this sooner. You know, so I think just getting the word out, that's what we tell our clients all the time. I mean, a lot of our growth you talked about as well, we don't have to do a lot of marketing. It comes from referrals, word of mouth. And because a lot of people don't realize that something like this product is out there, that we will, you know, we can do that. We have the opportunity in front of us to.
Well, I know you get asked every day, why aren't the houses, especially new investors asking, why aren't the houses on your website? Well, we don't put our houses on our website. Today, we have 245 renovations going on in all the cities. 245 renovations going on in all the cities. We have 55 new builds going on in different cities today that we're building. We have existing investors and some new investors that are waiting for properties to come out for us, which we bring out about 100 a month. This year we'll do right at 1,000 properties. And we sell every property. I think today we have a handful of properties available that our sales team is talking to some owners about. But it's just our reputation, our credibility and integrity is on the line every single day. And we've worked hard to maintain that at the highest level. And our team of 130 plus people make that all possible. And we're so lucky to have all these people that understand what our company is trying to do every single day out there in all these cities. And they make us really look good. And so let's wrap this thing up here. I've got Chris would be disappointed that we've gone almost, how long we've been going here, Heather? Long time?
Almost 24 minutes.
Chris, Chris could talk for 2
Yeah, I
hours.
was gonna say,
Okay,
he'd
so,
be 2
but
hours, 40 minutes. We're good.
Nate, what else on the property management side today that would be good for our folks to know as you get started as we're about 10 or 12 weeks in on property management this year? Anything new going on in your side, that or customer service?
So no, nothing terribly new, but the main thing and what I always stress is the steadiness that we provide. And again, I repeat, it's not about what I do or us three do. It's our team, it's our people. Understanding, like Ken said, the overarching goal of providing excellent service, which in turn leads to exceptional results. So the main thing is the team working hard day in and day out, understanding what the goals are and what those expectations are, and providing that value for our owners is really my main thing.
Ashley, before I wrap it up?
No, I mean, just like I mentioned earlier, it's never too late, and we still have the opportunities in front of us, 230 to 40 plus always in the pipe. And so, and we're just perfecting our processes more and more each year and getting better and better.
This almost ended up being like an infomercial here, didn't it? So, rather than a podcast, but I don't care. So
We know.
Here we are, and I'll go back and I'll just wrap it up with this. I remember, I think all of us were in Hawaii about 8 or 9 years ago, and we have a lot of Hawaii investors that have never been to Memphis or ever any of our cities to see their properties. And one of our guests in there said, I can go to bed every night, put my head on the pillow and know you're taking care of the properties. And that stuck with me all these years. And to me, that's so important. Are we perfect? No. We have a lot of room for improvement, and we're working on our processes. We're working on our training. We're trying to do better every day. But I don't apologize for chasing excellence. I don't apologize for chasing perfection, because that's what our clients expect. And sometimes it's to our disadvantage to have the bar so high. But again, I'm not apologizing for that. We'll handle it as we move through. But we're here trying to be the very best that we can be. The only competition I really talk about, do we have some competition out there in different? Yeah, sure we do, at different levels. But the biggest competition we have is ourselves, and try to do better every single day and challenge our people to be better, to be excellent, to be amazing, to be awesome, to do things that other people can't do, and to accept challenges every day, to be the best in class. And that's what we're trying to do. And so anyway, I don't know if this is what Chris would have said today. He'd have probably got on to some other things. He'll see this later today. And of course, he'll send me an email and a checklist of all the things that I was inaccurate or not, but that's okay. So we know he'll be back next week with his Grind podcast. We thank you, everybody, for following his podcast and our company and everything that we do. And thank you guys for joining me today. And thank you to our audience for joining us, and everybody have a great day and a great week. Thank you.